Hey guys, this is Agrode, one of the founders and CEO of Splinterlands. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. I am joined by a whole bunch of my colleagues, some new faces, some old faces, and I'm excited to go have this conversation with you all. With me, as always, is my co-founder, Matt Rosen. Matt, can you say hi to everybody?
Hey everybody, great to be here as always. Looking forward to a good town hall today and answering a bunch of your questions.
Awesome. We're going to have a couple different guests here. We're going to have Frostlight, who is one of the folks from a new guild. So hopefully we can go bring him onto air before too long. We have, as always, Richard and aka Hardpoint, our CTO, and really leading the drive in the whole technology end. So, Richard, can you say hi to everybody?
Hey everybody, it's Hardpoint here. I'm really excited about today. We got some fantastic stuff to talk about and hype as usual. Look forward to talking to you guys.
Sweet. All right, I have two other regulars that are on the show. I have Mr. Nate. Nate, do you want to go say hi and just give a quick introduction for yourself? He's looking for a mute button, I think.
Yeah, I was clicking the wrong button. My name is Nate, and I don't know how to click the mute button.
Awesome. Any news about who you are or what you do?
Absolutely. Creative director. I oversee all the visuals that you see on the front end. So artwork, UX, UI, animation, stuff like that.
Sweet. Okay. I also have with me Liam, aka Chatter. Chatter, what do you do and who are you? And just give us a quick intro.
Hey everyone. Chatter, or the Director of Marketing and Growth over at Splinterlands here. Echoing Richard's point or Hardpoint's point, lots of cool things to go over today. Lots of hype. Get ready for it. I'm super stoked to be here.
Awesome. All right. So joining us today in our two sort of rotating positions, we got Francis. He's a developer here at Splinterlands, as well as Tyler, who's from the creative side of things. So really looking forward to having both of these folks come on and just kind of talk us through big picture stuff, just so we keep getting a lot of new people to these. So the first section of this, it's kind of the company gives an update and we just talk about the things that we're working on. The second section of this, there is a list of questions that have come out from the last AMA that we didn't quite get to. They've been organized, categorized, and brought to us so that we know, what is the community interested in knowing. And we it's not so much filtering the questions because we don't really filter much. It's just like if a question is asked 2 or 3 times, we get rid of them and we just kind of organize the questions. So, and then at the end of the show, there's a time for anybody to kind of come in and just do a full presentation or just ask their full questions and come in and ask us anything that's on their brain. So these days, I don't really feel the need anymore to ask, are the servers on fire? But I guess I want to ask Richard, things seem pretty good. There haven't been a lot of downtimes. There's been a lot of new code that's getting cranked out. Are there any red flags out there for their server land that we need to be thinking about?
Oh, that's great. Things are piping hot and things are flying. People are having a great time. I just saw we passed 7 million packs. I think the next airdrop is incoming soon. And also I know Devev is working on a release with either today, not today, but I think there's a whole big pile of changes about to hit too. So be pretty excited to see that.
Some of those changes were designed as like a pretty big team effort. These are kind of the ranked battle rewards. I imagine that that's something that is on Matt Rosen's brain. Matt, do you want to talk some about the sort of battle rewards and rank rewards? And because that's going to be a big change that's coming. I think that's kind of the hottest issue that's about to come. And really, it from everything I've seen, it hasn't been that controversial. It's a big change to the economics, but it really seems like we got it right, and it's just highly anticipated. Is that your read? And what are you hearing? And can you just tell us about it?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're still working on the details of what we plan to do, so that's all going to be released and announced when it's ready. So, I mean, basically, one of the things we've been talking about for a long time is that now that we have more way more people involved on the team, handling most of the things that I used to handle myself, and now other people that I'm working with on the team have a chance to really spend a lot of time reviewing things like, how the economy's functioning, where are there issues, and I don't have to spend all my time dealing with server issues or reviewing code or releasing code or whatever, any of that stuff. So this is all, I just want to say, like, part of kind of what we've been talking about for a while, starting to come to fruition now, while we have lots more people ramped up and each working on their own, areas of expertise. So that being said, one of the things I've been spending a lot of time looking at really closely is just the economy for ranked battles. And we've been talking to bot operators, we've been talking to players, new players, old players, high level, low level. We've been, it's another benefit is we have a lot of new players that are on our team, because most of our team members that we brought on are now new players of the game. So it's just really like looking at that entire thing and seeing what some of the issues are. So a lot of the issues, I mean, you guys are, you already are familiar with. I mean, there's definitely some situations where there's incentive for people to create, multiple accounts rather than have more assets in a single account, which is something we always are looking to work against. There's, one of the things I've never liked, but one of the ways we've dealt with that in the past is we've had to reduce the rewards significantly, and mostly in Bronze League. So to me, that was just like a quick Band-Aid fix for the immediate problem, but not a good long-term fix for the game. So our to me, the goal is really, not to just keep putting Band-Aids on the system. I feel like that's a good example of how like government operates. They have all these like rules that are wrong and don't make sense, and they just keep applying different Band-Aids and little changes here and there until you get this whole big mess of a system that no one can understand. So to me, when there's like issues with different parts of the system, you got to look like deep at the core of how things work and find out what the real root cause of that issue is. And if you fix that, typically you can make everything a lot simpler, a lot easier to understand, and work a lot better. So that's kind of the high level goal of what we're doing here. So we're planning on, having some significant changes to how daily quests work, how season rewards work, and the loot chests and everything, with the goals of encouraging people to build up as many assets in their accounts as possible, and try to get to as high a league as possible, and make that always a better option. Like getting your account to higher leagues, always a better option than splitting your cards up between multiple accounts. And there's, a few different places where that's going to manifest in these updates. So I'm not going to get into too much detail right now, because that stuff's still being figured out. But I really think that pretty much everyone who's here for the long-term sustainability of the game and the value of the assets is going to be pretty happy with these changes.
Sweet. Are there other upcoming changes that are like high on your brain that you really want to get out to the world and talk about?
Well, my other main project is the SPS validators, which we've been talking about for a while. One thing you might have noticed from our recent post about, some of the reward system updates was also an update related to the SPS validators, which is that, they won't work with non-Hive accounts being able to hold assets, since they're only going to be getting their data from blockchain transactions, and not our APIs or anything like that. So one of the changes we're making is that when you sign up for a free account with your email address, you won't be able to hold any assets like dark energy crystals or SPS or any of that. And then once you create your actual Hive wallet, then you'll be able to hold your assets in that Hive wallet. And just to be clear, that doesn't mean you have to buy the spell book to be able to hold assets. It just means you have to have a Hive blockchain wallet. And Hive blockchain wallets can be created for free through a lot of services, Hive.blog, Leo Finance, and probably a bunch of other ones. So if you really don't want the spell book and you just want to hold and use Splinterlands assets, you can do it that way. But it is a necessary change in order to get the SPS validators out.
Okay. Ron, do you have Frostlight in the chat by chance? Is he able to speak? We might have lost him for a second. Let's go. If we can, let's bring Frostlight on. He's a little bit external to the company and may not need to be here for the whole thing. So I thought that I would bring him on a little early and let him go a bit after that. Should I move on? What do you think?
I've just invited him to speak, so he just needs to accept the request, and then he'll be coming in.
Yeah, Frostlight, if you're there, please, at the top of your screen is an accept button. So you should be able to just click accept, and then you should be able to speak at that point. And hearing none. All right, I think we can go kind of like maybe Ron can reach out to him and you two can go figure that out in the background. In the meantime, I think what I'm going to do is bring on Francis to go start us off.
Peggy, Frostlight just joined.
Oh, good. Okay, well, that works too. Hey, Frostlight, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I accidentally clicked decline instead of accept the first time.
Okay, well, internet stuff will happen.
So
Frostlight,
so
do you want to tell us who you are, what you do, and what you're building?
yes, gladly. So we are a very new community. We started in August, September, and we're called Well Connected. And I hope that some of you guys might have heard of us before. We are a very, very rapidly growing community. We are 4 owners, and we already hit 200 scholars in the past 4 months, primarily focusing on Titan Arena and on Axie Infinity. And now we're moving into Splinterlands because it looks like an absolutely amazing project.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you formed the guild? Like what's your goal? What's the ambition? What are you guys trying to build or trying to do? What's the mission?
Of course, we have always loved video games, all 4 of us, and we think it's a very, very cool opportunity that now we can actually earn money from playing these games. So our first goal is to try to establish some stronger economies in the volatile areas of the world. We saw Philippines earlier not this year, last year, were hit by a typhoon, and a lot of our scholars were actually from this region. So we have been able to enhance some of their everyday by giving them this opportunity to play games and not have to go and work in a very, very difficult environment. And suddenly they were actually able to earn money while they were hit by a typhoon. And they didn't have to leave their homes and they didn't have to starve as well. I thought that was absolutely amazing. And that's one of our drivers to get money into these very, very rough economies and have a focus on these particular regions. That's also why our strongest areas right now is Asia in general and Africa.
So what do you so if you're successful, what is that going to look like? What are you building? What will it be? And then, what can the Splinterlands community do to help? I mean, we definitely want to help in distressed areas, distressed economies. We definitely want to get capital into places where capital isn't there. But just big picture, if the Splinterlands community wants to work with you as you try to move in towards the Splinterlands community, what shape will that take? What will that look like? What help do you need? Like what would this look like as we're working together?
Well, we believe, just like you do, that the people capital is the most important asset in any guild or any community at all. So we need a lot of players. We need a lot of help to establish some good rules, some good coaching initiatives, because our guild focuses a lot on high-end players, teaching lower-end players how to earn money in these games. Because the trend is that more and more of these games, they focus on the high end of people, because if everybody was able to earn, then there wouldn't really be any economy very soon. So we drive academies into our scholar teams. So we hire high-ranked people and they coach for us. And the big plan is that in the future, this is actually going to turn into an actual job for people. So they show up in their virtual office, they grind their games, and if they're about to be burned out, we will have some initiatives, some academies, or some memberships of some kind, pulling them out of the burnout phase. So they are actually capable of maintaining a high level of gameplay and a high level of coaching to all the people that we bring in. That's the longer term plan.
So what I'm hearing is that, especially now, it seems like the gentleman that's on the call, his name is Frostlight. There's probably some monster mavericks, the people that have been around for a little while, that should reach out to him if they're interested in working with the guild to try to help shape policy, help educate other users, to help other communities of people learn how they could actually play and earn within our community of Splinterlands, not just Thetan Arena or Axie Infinity or other places where your guild has started, and now you're trying to figure out how to come here. So if there are some monster mavericks that seem interested, I would encourage you to go reach out to Frostlight and start figuring out what would a plan look like. How does this particular guild integrate with our particular game and our community, so that not just their wealthy players, but their players across the entire economic spectrum can find value, enjoyment, community, and not just grind to earn, but play to earn in like a fun social community. Does that sound about right?
It sounds absolutely correct.
All right. Well, I think because I have a lot that I want to cover today, I think that's a good start. Hopefully I've enjoyed my talks with Frostlight. I hope that other folks will reach out. And I said, worst case scenario, there are people that we've hired that are out of the Mavericks that we can go, as Splinterlands and a corporation, employ and send over. But I really think it's better if it's completely organic within the community, and you guys can just have good conversations. And hopefully there's a couple Mavericks in here that like helping other guilds come in and might like some kind of leadership position and have some good community and communication to go onboard another guild and bring them home. So I guess Mavericks, please give a warm welcome to Frostlight. If there are scholars that are looking for a home, reach out to Frostlight. And if there are, diamond and champion level players that are looking for more responsibility and feel a calling to help people in other parts of the world learn how to do this and do it well, reach out to Frostlight and go join his guild, and let's start seeing what that might look like. That sound like a plan?
That sounds like a really good plan, Agro. Am
right.
I allowed to post a Discord link somewhere so people can join us and reach out to me through that?
Richard, how do you want to do links? You're muted, or I can't hear you. Yeah, click the button.
Hey, reach out to our community mods, and they'll help you figure out how to post it. Or Chad, reach out to Chatter. Reach out to Chatter after this, and he'll help you figure out how to get syndicated.
Yeah, just send everything my way. We can get that started.
Punt.
Thank you,
punt to Chatter. All right, Frostlight, thanks so much. Glad to have you on. Good luck with your guild, and hopefully some Mavs and some scholars will be flowing in both directions.
And thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have you here. And if there's other people that have external guilds and multiple platform guilds, and they want to talk, you guys are welcome. Let's have that dialogue. Let's get people here, and that's pretty exciting to me. All right. I guess what I'd like to do next is give some folks that are on the team a chance to just say hi and give a little bit of an update. So why don't we go next to Liam? If you want to go kind of just tell us what you're working on and hit some of the high notes so that folks know what's going on. And I see that WeirdBeard is here too. So maybe WeirdBeard has some discussion that he wants to do, and I would invite that as well. So Liam, why don't you kick us off, and then WeirdBeard, if there's some updates that you'd like to give the community, that'd be great.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll go through my laundry list now, and then WeirdBeard's going to be going over some tournament stuff that we've been working on behind the scenes as of late. So from the marketing side of things, still carrying on with kind of just the regular and usual suspects in terms of channels. All of the ads and affiliates and partnerships and all that stuff are all ongoing. A few cool ones to note is we've been talking to Arcade Arena, which is a collegiate esports kind of foundation that operates both in North America and the Philippines. They recently did a $3.5 million round of funding. Was talking to them yesterday and a couple of days before that. But what we're looking to do is hopefully integrate with them across kind of, I think it was 300 to 500 different colleges around North America and the Philippines to start a Splinterlands kind of esport and scholarship program with them. So that's going to be really cool. The plushie survey results. So I don't know if everyone saw those, but we're looking to partner with a company called Makeship. So they help kind of do stuffed animals and plushies for select companies. They've seen kind of results from Blizzard and Activision and kind of all those other companies there. The two that we selected and that won the vote are going to be Byzantine Kitty and Jotun.
Oh,
so
Kitty. Oh, you're killing me.
I know. I'm sorry. We're giving more fuel to Biz here, but that's who we're running with. Rexy, Dr. Blight, and a couple others were close in the running, but those two kind of were few and far between for number one and number two. But what will happen is we need to hit 300 kind of pre-orders in order for them to really go forward with the projects. So next 2 weeks, we're going to be looking to make schematics of both Biz and Jotun for kind of 3D plushie models. After that happens, I'll share the pre-order link with everyone in the chat. I believe they're kind of like $20 or so for the plushies. And then once we hit the 300 orders or more for each one, we'll start getting all the processing done for all those and getting them made. It's about a 2-month turnaround for everything, but keep a lookout. Really stoked to have those plushies coming in and a bit more merch coming around. And then with regards to merch too, we're going to be looking to hopefully kick off a new round of merch. Reality versus Model or Beth is looking into that. So more things to come there. We'll make sure that we share with the team as we get those kind of drawn up. Other partnerships, Imagine Dragons is a pretty cool one. I may be jumping the gun a little bit by sharing this, but long story short, what we're going to be looking to do with them is a whole slew of stadium advertisement for their entire American tour that they're going to be doing, kicking off in early February. What we're going to be doing there is essentially taking over all the jumbotrons, all the screens of the arena, and just before they come on, it's going to be us and 4 other companies that are doing, I think, 90-second advertisements in each one of those screens, which is going to be really cool to see. We're also going to be working to get spellbook codes prepped on each one of the tickets, or at least emailed to all the participants of the event afterwards as well. So hopefully all the people that are actually attending those Imagine Dragon concerts are going to be coming back to Splinterlands and redeeming some spellbooks after that and starting to play the game. So we'll see how that goes. We'll keep everyone kind of in the loop as we see them enter the game, but really cool opportunity with them. Otherwise, a couple of little housekeeping announcements.
One comment. Normally, we sign the contracts first before we announce, but I think that one's pretty good to announce. But there is still a non-zero chance it doesn't happen, so don't freak out entirely. But that it's looking pretty damn good. So I'm just gonna
big caveat
put a little qualifier into that one before I get shot by the audience. But yes, we are. That's one of the things that we've been working on, and it could be live. Their first concert is February 6th or something.
Yeah.
So this isn't like months and months out. This is like 10 days or something. So we're kind of under a tight deadline, but we're doing what we can to make it happen.
Yeah, and apologies. It's kind of why I was jumping the gun a little bit.
Well, it's fair because we don't have a meeting next week. So if this thing gets out there, it'll be kind of a surprise. I don't blame you. It's okay. We'll give this one to Chatter the Fearless.
Yeah, apologies.
Hopefully it all goes.
I just want to know, Chatter, on those plushies, the Jotun plushie, does he give multiple hugs at the exact same time?
Of course. It's like the only way to do it, right?
One to the left and one to the right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, this stuff from my side, it's really just kind of no town hall next week. Some of the leadership team is going to be traveling for some business meetings. Otherwise, just lots of big promotions coming down the pipeline. We have another one coming up mid-February, so keep your eyes out for that. But lots of hype. One more thing to call out too is just support and for all the hard work they've been putting in. For those who didn't see the official announcements channel yesterday, they've released a whole in-game update. So support is now going to be hosted in the website itself. We've launched a chatbot along with a slew of other features there. So that should cut down lead time by a couple days per ticket. Please, if you need to kind of reach out to support, go onto the website, use the little FAQ section in the header. It's that kind of purple banner on the far right-hand side of that header banner icon selection thing there. But otherwise, yeah, I'm going to pass it off to Rick to give a little bit of kind of tournament planning stuff.
And Rick, just before you go, please introduce yourself. And I know some people have heard from you, but again, let's just always assume that people have no idea who we are. So just give us a quick heads up on who you are. I also have a preference that you unmute.
Yeah, good. All right, perfect. So my name is WeirdBeard. I'm handling esports marketing and the tournaments here. I'm really excited to be back. And the first thing that we really want to say is you are needed. So we are currently going to be running for the next week and a half or so a player feedback survey, which is where we're going to be sourcing input from you, the community, about what you want to see out of tournaments. And essentially, we don't want to make any massive changes to some of the things that people are requesting, both in tournaments that we run and like how the game competitively works. So we want to know from the community, the people that play it. It's going to be a really quick little survey that we're going to drop here in the chats. If not, you can always reach out to me on Discord and voice your opinion a little bit. Tell us about who you are, what kind of a player you are, what makes you want to enter into tournaments, what makes it hard to get into tournaments. Because one of the main things that I've really experienced from the first week and a half of being here is that everybody has input and lots of people have ideas and things that they want to see. And the easiest way to do it is to essentially get it all from everybody. So this is your chance to be heard and your ability to tell us directly what you like and what you don't like. Like I said, it's a free survey. We're going to drop it. It's in the Discord chat right now for you to go check out. And along with that, another thing that I want to mention is you may have seen a lack of tournaments going up for this next week. One of the things is that while we run this survey and find out, we talked about it earlier, Matt mentioned it, of Band-Aids. And Band-Aids are not how we're going to be doing stuff. And we don't want to be putting up tournaments with temporary Band-Aids that we're going to have to change in another week or two. And then everybody goes, oh, I thought it was like this. And we're like, no, it's not like that. So please, we're not going to be doing tournaments for the next 2 weeks while we get a huge focus on getting as much input on this survey as possible. Please make sure to fill it out. I will stress it one more time here. So I think it's going really well. People that have reached out over the past week and a half, I really appreciate giving input on the competitive landscape. And I would encourage other people, if you feel like there's something not covered in this survey that you're just dying to get off your chest, please reach out personally, and I'd love to hear more.
So I have questions. Where did the name WeirdBeard come from? Because it seems like pretty standard beard to me. Not terrible, not like outlandish. It just seems like a beard.
It was given to me. I was forced into it if I wanted to take a job in radio. I went by my legal government name on radio, and then I did a show with Wiz Khalifa's DJ doing nights in Philadelphia, and I went by Rick City because the song by Tyga, Rack City, was popular at the time. And then I got hit up and they were going to take me out to Portland, Oregon. And they go, the only thing is you have to go by WeirdBeard. And I was like, I'm not going to go by WeirdBeard. And I get there and the contract is all done referencing WeirdBeard as the person. And at that point you're like, oh my God, all right, cool. Just fine. So then I've had WeirdBeard for the past, 7 years at this point. It's just kind of, I've accepted it.
So I have one little question about this.
Yes.
So Liam has mentioned that he is unable to grow beards. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering if there was a connection between Liam and his hiring choices for getting somebody named WeirdBeard, or that was completely coincidence.
Yeah, definitely. I'm bringing it in to there's a beard factor that you have to have on every team to be successful. And I'm just here to play support, man. The beard is in the background. Liam does most of the work, but he wouldn't be able to do it without the beards behind him.
Liam, was there any beardness in your decision making here?
Oh, that was the only decision making done. Ron done. Yeah, Ron, Clay, and WeirdBeard are all making up for my lack of facial hair right now. And if you guys don't believe me, what you see right now, this is 5 days of not shaving. So this is about as good as it gets for me. Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Well, I'll just sit here and ponder that slowly while stroking this beard, wondering about what to say next.
If only beards were an NFT that you could purchase.
If you don't think that I'm not going to advocate for the beard as a monster character to be introduced at some point, I don't know what to tell you.
I like
I'm
this.
going to be buying them all.
It could
Yeah.
be Liam's beard, and then like the reason why he doesn't have it is that it's in game. Yeah,
So
like
when
it got sucked out of him into this metaverse.
So when he levels it all the way up, does he get a real beard? Can he turn it in for a real beard?
We're gonna have to find out. It depends on where the Neuralink beard link technology lands at that stage.
I think as you level up the card, the beard should grow longer and longer too.
That's it. That's the winning idea.
Okay, so thank you, WeirdBeard. Thank you, Liam. I want to move on to the creative side of things. So we have Mr. Nate, and I imagine that his colleague Tyler might be interested in joining us as well. So maybe Nate, you could give us some kind of a creative discussion of where we're at on the creative team, and then maybe introduce your partner in crime here, and we can go have a nice conversation with Tyler.
Absolutely. I think that the creative side is we're really focused on hiring and building up the infrastructure and just getting all the talented people on board that we can. We're having a lot of really exciting interviews and looking at several candidates. And like you said, we're going to hear from Tyler in a little bit, who was one of those gold nuggets that we found, that I think all the team members who have an opportunity to collaborate with him are really impressed and excited by the level of attention that he gives to creating these profile pics that we've been sharing on these town halls. So it's really exciting for him to be a part of this one, so he can kind of speak to that. I think big picture. Well, Liam already. I mean, I was honored to be part of the meeting earlier this morning with the other side of Imagine Dragons and trying to sort out the dynamics of figuring out how the heck we're going to get animation, full-blown trailer produced and ready in time within the next week. I mean, that's fun stuff, but it really spikes the adrenaline. It's not a time to like cower under the bed and say, oh no, what do we do? It's more like, yes, yeah, this is one of those opportunities that's just, how can you not be excited about that? I mean, it's in the name, right? Imagine truck riders. No, imagine freaking dragons. So you got, talk about an alignment with Splinterlands. So, the first thing I did off of that call was I tasked the creative side. I said, hey man, if we can, I'm telling you guys just a bunch of maybes, just like the ink hasn't been signed on that deal. It hasn't been determined exactly how this cool Jumbotron craziness is going to happen and what's going to be on it. But the first thing that came to mind, of course, is we need a freaking Imagine Dragon. Yeah. Like if we can create some crazy dragon that shows up at the end, right? Just like, whoa. And then, apparently Imagine Dragon fans are known as fire breathers. They go by that, that terminology. So it's just, I'm just thinking, wow, what a great fit. So I got a crack team. I got a crack team, Black Ops, super creative team, kind of tackling that side of things. And they're probably, even as we're discussing on the town hall now, they're probably hard at work right now, just trying to figure out, okay, we got this, we got that, we need this background art. Wait, can you hurry up and do this and toss it to me to do that? So they're like focused, I think, on probably for the next week, just trying to wrap their brains around how can we really produce something awesome for that. Also on the other side of things, UX, UI, we're contemplating, well, how are we going to manage this wild versus modern? We're not quite sure yet. I mean, there's a lot of us right here on the team right now that can speak to, the process for that. But whatever the initial launch will be, you can be rest assured that we'll continue to iterate, continue to polish up, continue to make sure that the beating heart of the game, at least right now, that screen, that layout, and any changes we make is going to be constantly improved and constantly optimized to make sure that when people go to that screen, they're like, "Bam! This not only looks awesome, but the UX of it all, the UI of it all is intuitive and user friendly, and I get it." And they're not only do they get it, but it should be delightful and fun to engage with. It should just looking at the screen and clicking the buttons and doing what you got to do. The vision is that you are going to be really, that's going to be part of the excitement of the game is just, looking at all the options and figuring out what to do next and seeing the rewards and how that relates to some of what Matt's blog post recently with the upcoming changes. So we're really excited about that stuff. And of course, you got all the normal stuff. You got, and I say normal, but it's really exciting stuff too in its own right. Land and, just crap. We got other promotions coming up too, which we can't even talk about yet. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. The creative side is hopping.
Do you have any eye candy you want to kind of release to the team, or anything you want to pop out? And I'm sure that everybody likes getting a little bit of a.
No, for sure. I would say that typically with an airdrop, I'm going to create a wallpaper for it. I didn't get a chance to do it, but for those of you who haven't seen the blog posts or aren't aware of the pending airdrop that's happening with, the Spirit Hoarder, just expect to see some story and some artwork and some cool wallpaper stuff on that guy. That guy's creepy. He's definitely an interesting character, and we'll get more into that another time. But I guess right now, if you guys haven't done so already, I really encourage you. I'll put the link in here. I really encourage you to take a look again at the lore stories. Something that I think a lot of people overlook is just the raw talent. That I think the latest one was Grum, and Grum is a cool guy, man. Just look at him. He has a very Conan look to him, Conan feel to him, and I encourage people to go check out the lore. We call all the lore from Chaos Legion as part of the Tome of Chaos, which is the chronicles that kind of detail what's going on with the Chaos War, the good guys, the bad guys, and everyone in between. And Grum is an interesting guy because he comes in and he joins the Chaos Legion, and and you'll find that the narrative direction we took with Grum, he's going to be somewhat, at least indirectly, instrumental in the overall backdrop of players playing in the arena as battle mages and what that means. And the stakes will never be higher for people who enter that arena now that Grum has influenced what happens in those arenas once the Chaos Legion conquers those parts of the world. So just to give you, if you don't want to check out the lore because you don't like to read, this is the type of artwork you're going to see in there. Cool little cool illustrations from our concept artist, and then once our animators get a hold of stuff, like here's an example of Grum with a little bit of animation to him, which I thought they did a great job in capturing his power, his overall, he's just kind of sitting there breathing and holding aloft this burning blade. So we got stuff like that. And then one of my favorite characters is Lyra. So let me share an animation on her too, because she's cool. And the reason why I like Lyra so much is because she is part of our intentions of, and I'm not going to get into it because I want to spoil anything, but little by little, I want to start exploring the overall vampire lore in the Splinterlands and really flesh out the intricacies and nuances of the different vampire factions, and whether they would join the Chaos Legion or whether they would be in defiance of that, and what is their role to play in the upcoming sets. So Lyra,
if I'm ever asked whether it's Jacob or Edward, I'm going to be furious. Just if that ever happens, this is not tolerable. Oh, she looks sassy.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Lyra is definitely not that kind of vampire. She is.
Hey, Aggie.
Yeah.
Are you?
You can ask it now. But I'm not personally affronted by this. I just don't want to have to be asked in my game. Are you Edward or Jacob or whatever his name is?
Hey Siri, remind me in 6 months to ask Aggie. Keep going. It is beautiful art, by the way. This is beautiful, Nate. You and the creative team have done a wonderful job.
I'm very proud of them. And I just wanted to, what else can I show besides just some animation stuff? To prepare for the node validator stuff that we are working on. You know, I showed some concepts before, but I don't know if I shared these concepts. And the narrative team is trying to flesh out, well, you know, how can we add some fantasy backdrop to what's happening with the validation? And we have a lot of great ideas. And some of this concept art was prepared in preparation for the fantasy backdrop that we give to people who are going to be validators, and what does it mean and what's going on and stuff like that.
You know what's cool? You know what's cool about being a gaming company and a blockchain game is that we make things that are boring and too technical look cool as shit. That's all I gotta say.
No, and speaking of which, and I'll give it just a very brief touch of land. Agrod has brought this up before, in that, you know, as we explore in the land, our hopes is to kind of like not look at things from, because when we were first conceptualizing land, we had this isometric Clash of Clans type of look originally, and we were looking at like, it's like, okay, that looks cool, but my concerns was that, you know, I wanted to really immerse the player. I wanted to like bring them down to ground level and make them feel like they're part of the world, and not just kind of like have this sky view, this God mode, where you're kind of looking down and you're like, okay, yeah, those guys are doing something, but I'm not. And so one of our recent, well, not too recent, she's been around a little bit, but Alex, who lives, I think she lives in Japan, she was brought on, and she's doing great work to prepare for what's that transition from the high level view when you're looking at the map, and as we're kind of zooming in and getting down to ground level. So this is the type of stuff that she's doing to kind of prepare. And when you look at it, you can imagine the kind of, you're up high at the map view and the clouds are starting apart and you're kind of getting closer to the ground, and eventually we kind of animate and transition out to where you're actually at ground level now, and you're looking around and you're ready to kind of go inside your building and make sure the workers are doing what they're supposed to. So I you know, that's probably enough. I don't want to take up too much time. I got a lot to go over. So, but I think that's probably enough to kind of give you guys an idea that, you know, creative is in parallel working on all kinds of different projects all at the same time, not one and then the other. And they're doing a great job. They're just killing it. So I'm very proud of them. And that speaks to Tyler's role, who is kind of, even though he hasn't yet had a chance to immerse himself in this aspect of the creative stuff, his role is just as important. What he's doing is he is supporting creatively the opportunity to give leadership, marketing, and then eventually the whole rest of the Splinterlands team the opportunity to, you know, build that culture and to utilize business cards that are going to create new and exciting partnerships. Because to Richard's point, it's like, you know, when you're talking to a tech company, you're deciding, do you want to collaborate? Is it a good fit? This, that. And then you pull out these freaking awesome cards. They're like, oh, wow, these guys are cool. You know, they do a double take. This is not the norm. We set ourselves apart. We're not like the rest. We're not white noise. We're not like everyone else. So yeah, Tyler, I'd love to, you know, kind of bring you in, introduce you. He's a great character artist, and he's been instrumental in helping everyone get some fantasy-like cool avatar pictures. And then Tyler, do you have a recent one? I guess that'd be Yaba, or what?
Hey guys, my name is Tyler. I'm a 2D illustrator and concept artist. I've been working with the team since December, and I'm currently in charge of doing everybody's really cool business cards. It's actually, when Nate pitched me the project originally, I was super excited because I'm like, man, if you're starting out with a company, especially like a startup, and you get pitched a project and your first thing is literally like, hey, go meet the whole team and get to know everybody and like interact with these people and just learn the in and outs of everybody's personalities and like who they view themselves in this universe of Splinterlands. I think it's just awesome. I'm super pumped about the whole project. I've been having a ton of fun. Everybody that I've met has been amazing. Just some of the coolest people. And yeah, Nate, to answer your question, I do have some eye candy if you guys want to see it.
Yes, eye candy.
Yeah. So we have Matt's.
Is it
completed.
flaming eye candy?
Oh,
Some of it is.
I want to see Matt's. Let's see this.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can set up to share my screen here.
Well, let's no. Just put in.
Just-
I think you just put it in the chat.
Oh, I can just drop it. I can just drop it. Yeah,
just
okay.
drop it in the chat.
Yeah, totally. One moment.
I don't know if Ron is ready for individual people. Yeah, we're not ready to go share screens.
All right, not a problem. Ooh, that's the problem with Discord. These images are too big. Give me one moment.
All right. Well, maybe you can talk through. I know that I've spoken to you a little bit about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you see this? Why is this important to you? Like, what's fun about this? Or how has the reception been to the people that you're asking?
So
Nice.
I think it's super cool. Oh, there's one version of it. I was Nate, do you have the picture with the like spell effects and stuff for the animation that we're gonna do?
Yeah, I know the lightning one was cool. I have to find it, or if you have it handy. Let me see.
Yeah, I can grab a.
That looks pretty awesome, man, for an updated one for your card.
It gives me a little bit of a Doctor Strange.
Definitely a step up.
Yeah, it does.
but
It does a Doctor Strange kind of feel to it. I like it.
Oh man, it's not letting me capture the screen here. There we go.
For those of you watching the video,
I was prepared to share my screen.
Nice.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
this was my old business card. I'm holding up to the monitor here. If you can see that. So it's definitely a huge improvement. But when you hand these things out, people just like are totally amazed by it. So it'll be even crazier when we get the new better artwork.
Sometimes they don't understand that it's a business card. Like it takes them a couple minutes to be like, wait, what am I? Wait, this is your card? Like they think it's like a game card, and they can't even like comprehend that this could somehow be like me representing myself as a businessman.
Yeah, I have to show them the back. I'm seeing on the stream now that it like the background is getting it messed up, so it's kind of hard to see. But anyway, that's the idea.
Yeah, and Agro, to answer your question, it's just been super cool because working for a gaming company and being a long-time trading card game player, I mean, I started out growing up on Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Through elementary school and middle school. That transitioned to Magic the Gathering and eventually into Hearthstone and Legends of Runeterra and everything. So, like, this genre has been one of my favorites and one of the things I've been most passionate about throughout my whole life. So to come in and kind of get this like new IP world building experience and then talk to the people that are in charge of creating it and finding a place for them within that game world and within that IP and see how they view themselves has just really been a incredible experience. And everybody's been super passionate and just really, really excited about the whole process. It's been awesome. It's been really a dream come true.
So I got a question for Matt's card. Is that the validator nodes spinning around his head?
that that was part of the concept. So the concept that we went with was that Matt is kind of this electrical techno mage where and then the concept kind of led into like SPS validation and just the growth of the game economy and the steps that we're going to be taking down the roadmap in the future. And I thought, well, it would be a super cool idea if, like, deriving his magic from technology, he had, like, these floating drone conduits that kind of encapsulated SPS crystals. And it used the energy from the SPS to kind of transmute into this electrical power. So everything's kind of set up for animation where we can have, like the breathing like Grum had that Nate showed and the spell effects and the electricity sparking. But then the central conduit actually separates and it shows the SPS crystal. And then we have the electricity channeling through that. So it's actually really cool. Matt's is probably the most complicated one, just in number of pieces that are set up for animation. It's really been intensive. It's been a great time.
I am really excited to see that animated when that gets to that stage.
That's awesome. All right, not for lack of love, but just for lack of time, I'm going to move on.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for helping us with, so much of this is just like we're not just a community, our business is an anchor within this community and we need to be good advocates and stewards of that community. We have to be good ambassadors. And I'll tell you, these cards, these images and our ways to go just like slide it across the table and say, that's who I am. It's nice to meet you. Let's have this meeting. And they're like, people just don't, it takes that moment to just like fully embrace what the hell we just did. It's pretty awesome. And the end result, frankly, is just so you know, we're cooler than you.
There it is. Sorry, he dropped it. HTT, he couldn't wait. He just dropped it.
I'm getting the rest of them sorted, so I can I can drop the rest of them if you guys want to see it. I'll just drop
put them out.
Gosh.
You know, this is Hardpoint here. He's looking fiery, magical. It looks like some O's and ones coming off the page. I don't know if you know this, but he's a talented coder. We got a little bit of a chatter chiming in, not letting that go to waste. A pool of loot on his back. I don't know. It's excellent. You know, just imagine you were at a company retreat and everybody is sliding cards, or like we're meeting with a big company and everybody passes these cards over and everybody else is like, oh, I'm Dan, I'm from accounting. And like, just think about what the delta is there. Okay. So last up on the list here, we have, not for lack of love, but just to change the order up, Hardpoint, maybe you want to go give us a little bit of a tech update and give me, you know, I want to go introduce one of our developers here. So maybe you can lead us into this and give us a sense of, at a high level, of what Francis is working on, or what we're doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. High level, 2-second version. So one of the things that we kind of envisioned last year when I first came on was, you know, we started dealing with fixing the game, getting it running, and then we kind of looked at it and we were like, oh, you know what? We can take this a whole nother level. And so we started forming a team that was called the platform team. And Francis, who's about to talk, is involved in that team. And they're in the middle of building from the ground up a new V2 version of Splinterlands. Mobile first, completely responsive, with all the latest tech. And what's really exciting about that is not only going to be Splinterlands host, but if we do additional projects, it will host those projects as well. So it's basically going to become this platform that allows us to do NFTs and blockchain. It's going to be really exciting.
That's pretty high level. Francis, why don't you come in and kind of talk through some of what you're doing? And, you know, one of the first things that I know that we're going to hear is that, like, is this product that you're working on, how does it help Splinterlands? Like, does this help us grow? Does it help us add new features? How does it help our existing Splinterlands platform, or what does it enable for us as our community stands right now? Oh, and I can't hear you, so why don't you unmute as well? Francis? Oh, you can hear him. I can't. Is anybody else having difficulty hearing him? Ron's saying we can't hear you. So are you unmuted in Discord? Are you in Discord? He's here. I think you need to go into your settings within Discord, and it's the little cog in the bottom left. Click user settings. About 3/4 of the way down is voice and video. All right. Why don't you and Ron can chat a little bit. We're gonna bring Richard back for like a little bit more love, just to talk about. Oh, they can hear him. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
Yeah, we have a mix of people that can and can't hear him. That's shocking. Who, me? Francis, can you leave and come back real quick? So, yeah, disconnect. And can you invite him again? Make sure he can come on air. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. This is what happens when you live stream with this stuff. And hopefully we'll get him back in just a moment here.
Well, and what?
He's invited, so he just needs to accept it.
While he's getting on, let's talk a little bit about
he's here.
tech. Oh, get him on?
But he's not lighting up when he speaks. Still can't hear you, Francis. You know, just for the record, we did a tech review before the show starts, so it's always live on air is new fun. All right, Ron, why don't you work with him and we'll pull him back, and then Richard, why don't you give us just talk to us a little bit about the direction of our team and sort of where you're at and what you're focused on.
One of the biggest things I want to say is I dropped this in channel twice, actually. I dropped last night and then this morning. It's about hiring. We have a lot of new roles that we're looking at filling here. And I sent out a note and I was like, hey, we need some top developers to join the team. So Francis is one of those people that has come on board in the last couple of months with us, and really excited to have him here. But you know what? We need more Francises and we need more developers here. And we're really excited. And we think the best people that work on our team are the ones from our community and the ones that love this game and are excited about that. So definitely, if you guys know somebody that's really passionate about gaming, really passionate about blockchain, really passionate about development, definitely please have them drop me an email. The details on how to get a hold of me are in the official post there. So really excited about that.
Can you talk a little bit about what kind of languages or background or skills or what makes for a good developer from your point of view? I mean, there's lots of ways to be great, but what would make you a great fit for Splinterlands?
Yeah, so we're just looking for the type of developers where this is their passion, like development's their passion. We use some really ubiquitous technologies like JavaScript, Node, and PostgreSQL. Most of our tech is fairly easy to get into for most developers, or if they've had familiarity with it. They're like the guys that.
How about now, guys?
Yeah, there he is.
There we go.
Hey,
All
Francis.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on, Francis. I want Richard to finish this thought of who we're recruiting and what they look like or what their skill set is, and then let's go introduce Francis.
Yeah. So just finishing up that thought real quick. We're looking for guys that development is really their passion. But not just that. Like, we're also looking for guys that are gamers like us too, because anybody can be a developer and anybody can be a gamer. But we want guys that are both gamers and developers. And if you're one of those people, we definitely want to talk to you, because being a part of this team is a huge part, is a passion for a lot of us. We're excited gamers and we're developers too, which makes it even more fun. And, we've talked about this in previous town halls. For me, this has been a marriage of two of the things that I have spent most of my life on, is gaming and development. And I can tell you, since I've been at this company, it's, started working here like 5-6 months ago, and I haven't worked a day since because it's so much fun. So we're looking for those type of people. We'll talk to them and see what we can do about getting them in our system.
Awesome. All right, Francis. Hey, great to be able to hear your voice. Great to be able to speak with you. Why don't you give us a quick background on who you are, what you do, how long you've been here, and then we can go a little further from there.
So I'm Francis. My gamer tag is Z416175. Every gamer just refers to me as Z. There's a whole origin story behind that, which I think is really interesting. But we won't go into that now. I am a solutions architect. I joined Splinterlands in December 2021, just last month. And I don't know if any of you guys seen it, but I built the first thing I did was I built the maintenance screen battle mini game. So sword game. Just like a bit of fun, just kind of getting used to the team and the code. I have 8 years experience building apps with a bunch of different clients, and I am a gamer, big time gamer. I used to be I play a lot on Steam now, but I used to be into Magic Gathering a lot. So I'm really into the idea of Splinterlands and the idea of this trading card game. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm still learning a bit, so I just started playing in December. I'm doing pretty good. I struggle a lot against the Unicorn Mustang and Goblin Healer. I was just telling some of the team that today. I really need, man, that's a hard combo. but otherwise, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. So yeah, do you want me to just keep going, Agro, or you want to?
Yeah, so you're working on so first off, what is a solutions architect? I'm a chemist, so I'm like, oh, you make solutions that you use to make buildings. Is that what a solutions architect is?
Sure. So the idea is, I mean, and sometimes, like a smaller project, a dev may do everything, right? But as projects grow, or you want to build larger projects, to have a solutions architect, to have somebody from the beginning kind of come in and go, this is how we need to architect this solution. These are the patterns. These are the tools we should be using. These are the things that we need to be doing. So we kind of set that framework up for devs to come in then and maybe do some more of the implementation details, but so that everything is built from the beginning, well architected.
Okay, so you're a solutions architect, which sounds like the architect equivalent, the designer, the person that's making the blueprint of what the thing should look like. Are you actually coding it too, or are you just making the blueprint of somebody should probably make a thing here?
Yeah, sure. So I am coding it, and I am coding it right now. Solutions architect also, doubles as a dev, right? So I mean, and software is kind of like that, right? You have your devs and your engineers and your architects, and everybody's kind of a little bit into everything.
So you're a bit of like an architect and the general contractor for this thing. Is that?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So now, now understanding kind of your role with this again at a high level, because I don't want to give away all of our secrets of what we're doing, but just at a high level, you're on a product team or a platform team. What is a platform? What does it do? And how? I really want to be focused specifically here. How does this help Splinterlands to have a platform team? What does that even mean? Why are we doing this? It's not land. It's not an arcade. It's not validator nodes. Why are we building a platform? What do we even care about that for?
Sure. So you want to have a good platform. When we say platform, we kind of mean the entire thing that runs, that we run, not really like clearly like the blockchain stuff, like our communication with the blockchain, right? But like the databases and the backend services and the interfaces that the users use. And how this will benefit the Splinterlands community is we're really thinking with this platform, with this version 2 of the platform, mobile first design, right? So right from the get-go, mobile first design. And I mean, I think that'll be a big improvement for Splinterlands.
One thing I want to add, I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but modular mobile first design.
Yes.
A normal free-to-play game app can just be, one big thing. But when you get into crypto, there's so many this term isn't great, but I think of it like crypto racists, like people that are anti-crypto, that are people that are, not ready to accept us or ostracize us because of the financial freedoms that we love and enjoy. There are businesses that don't want to do business with us because of it. And the one way around that is to sort of like turn on and turn off portions and design it in a modular way. Is that in your design so that we can be compatible with, the big tech giants that we sort of hate to use but need to use for user acquisition and be, available to a wider audience? What does that look like to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So with this platform, we're designing it in such a way that the features that we want to use or don't want to use can be turned on or off, right? And so in different environments. And so, yeah, absolutely, that would enable that.
Okay. And so after you've built it, after this platform is constructed, after it's functioning, what would a user experience, or what would they notice, or what would they not notice because it's been built? Like what is the advantage? Why are we spending time on this? It's not something unique like a feature. It isn't lands. Like why do this when? Because somebody is going to ask me in this audience, look, dude, you guys have been promising us boss fights, validators, land, and validators. What am I missing? There's 4 things that are in my brain, but you guys have a list of features you guys have been promising and working on for a long time. Why do you have devs that aren't specifically just working on those? What is the key core benefit that somebody's going to receive so that can enable those things or allow those things or help those things? Why are you here how does it help achieve those features that they want to play with?
Well, I think that the biggest thing that comes right to mind is it will enable us to build those features much faster. I mean, with having the platform and all the structure in place, we can put those features together much faster. And so we'll be able to iterate and build and deliver new features, I think, much quicker.
And what's the reason for that? Why is this platform going to enable that better than the previous platform?
It's just so we were able to. I mean, I think the previous platform was just kind of built as we went along, and things were added on as we need it, right? And that kind of happens in software. It's very common. And so now we can go back and we can look and we can say, okay, well, if we could reimagine this, right, with everything exactly the way we want it, and for all the things that we want to support going forward, right? Then we can do it like that, and then supporting it going forward and building those new features then becomes a lot easier.
So where are you in this process? Did you just start and this is your first day? Are we 10 years away from the very first sign of being able to use this? Like I know it's, you can't ask devs for like a real deadline, but like where maybe in the list of work, like what stage are we at? What does this start looking like? What's a timeline when a user might start seeing or feeling the difference of the impact of the stuff that you're doing?
Sure. So we're about a month in. I started about a month ago. I think you'll see, you'll see some of this by summer, right? And so clearly, easily by summer, you'll see some benefits before then. But I think there will be some very apparent things, by summer. So.
Okay. Well, this is fun. This is fascinating. Hopefully these guys will understand that, like, stapling on another new feature is harder to do, like an infinite number of times. And hopefully designing a system where these puzzle pieces just kind of fit in more smoothly is a much better long-term solution. And hopefully the folks listening are not like, why are you wasting a time with a platform? Go build features. They hear, oh, if we build the platform right, it's easy to add features on top of it. Is that a good summary?
Absolutely. I think that anybody that really knew software would kind of see, what we want to do and how many new features and how quickly we want to move going forward, and come to the same conclusion that, hey, this is the fastest way to do it. This is the best way to deliver it.
Tyler, there's a question. Did you show my business card? Does that do we have any movement on that, even concept?
Yeah, I sent Nate a message earlier, wondering if I should.
I haven't even seen this.
So
alpha leak. I want the alpha leak.
Yeah, because it is alpha. Because when you first showed me the concept, I was like, wait a minute, did Aggro not give you an angry selfie pic because it looked like kind of just like an orc, and he was and so I think his idea is he has an idea of what he wants to do, and then we're going to have to kind of erase some of the orcish features or tweak them once we get the selfie from you so that we can make it look more like you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely very rough sketch. The likeness will come in later. A lot of the stuff gets figured out later on. I can drop what we have so far, though, if you guys want me to.
Yeah, do it.
Do it. Okay.
Do it.
You're the boss.
Oh, man.
Hey,
wait a minute. I think Clayboyne already dropped it.
Yeah, Clay has been dropping memes of me for years and years and years.
That's it.
No, yeah, that's it.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Maggie, how do you do it? Is it diet? What do you do?
It's definitely. I had a personal trainer come by, and I'm like, look, I swear to God, I just need to lose weight. I will do anything at all, just as long as it's not diet or exercise. I'm willing to do it.
So I do before I drop this in the chat, I do want to preface this with I now a lot of this initial these initial projects were me kind of figuring out the style shift going towards kind of where we want to be in the future. So now that I feel like a lot of that learning is done and the training wheels are kind of coming off, one of the things I'm going to be focusing on is really getting those push dynamic action scenes for these. So with that in mind, here is the initial concept for Agrob's card.
Oh, love it.
That's pretty good.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is those arrows like in your back?
It's at least in my shoulder. Yeah, I
It's
don't.
like shoulder blade area.
I love it.
So I said I needed my gauntlets. So I need some spiky gauntlets on there.
This is bare bones, completely open to character design.
I think I need a mohawk, if I'm being honest.
Right.
And then and there needs to be he needs to be a lot more beaten up. I don't know if you've ever seen me interact directly with this audience, but like if I'm not doing this like pleasantry with my peers, like this guy should have like nothing but like open wounds on him. Like, 2 arrows sticking out of him. There's got to be at least 50 different like sharp objects sticking out of this orc.
I got you.
Tyler, don't tell Aggie, but I'm going to personally ask you to get in some toilet broken being thrown at him in the background.
We can just have like a toilet being tossed from the arena crowd.
Yeah, there definitely so I asked to make sure that even while he's like in the midst of battle, he looks gleeful. And so I think you captured some of that, which is great, but he does not look nearly as beat up as the players will do to me.
Oh no, Aggie, trust me. This is just a compositional thumbnail. The actual design work has not even started yet on this guy.
He needs to look like he's halfway near death and still smiling.
He's gonna be rough. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Well, I like the direction. I still miss my pointy gauntlets. I don't know if you guys have seen Conan the Barbarian or Conan the Destroyer. He's like sitting in the arena pit, fighting every single day for his life. And in one of those scenes, he's got these like, he's got gauntlets that have like spikes coming out of them. So he doesn't have a sword. He doesn't have an axe. He just basically has pointy fists. And that's always been awesome in my brain. So that's the direction. And when Grum came out, I was so pissed. I was like, are you kidding me? They basically took like my character type that I wanted, but oh well, we'll figure it out. And I think these teeth are a little exaggerated, but otherwise the damn thing is pretty good. I don't mean that literally. I just mean compared to my teeth.
We got room to play. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I want a mohawk too.
You got it.
Yeah, he needs like a big spiky mohawk.
But that's cool. Thanks, guys.
Nice job. Thank you for that. And Francis, sorry that went a little bit like it was a sharp ending that almost had zero segue. But Francis, thank you for being here. Thank you for working on that project. This team is amazing. You guys, like across this board, there's so many people with so much talent that put so much time and effort into the things that we're doing. And I know for the audience, it's not land and it's not boss fights and it's not validator nodes and it's not the modern versus wild. But honestly, for us to be able to crank code out faster, we need a platform that enables it. And Francis has been instrumental in helping us build that. So thank you.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
We went a little bit over where I wanted to go. I don't know if Beth is in the audience and can hear me, but I'm hoping that there's a magical set of questions that just suddenly appears and we know what the audience was asking from last time. There we go. That was not Beth, but I will accept that from chatter. So what I have now is a 2-page set of questions that the audience members have asked us from last week. Again, we have gone through them to like analyze them and find questions. And we sometimes clean up grammar and things. But the idea of this section, this is kind of your AMA section of our town hall. We don't do anything to like stop certain questions from coming in. We want everybody to be able to ask anything. The one part of this that I will continue to harp on my entire career, as long as I live and work at this company and with this crowd, you guys are welcome to any single opinion you might possibly want. But the only thing that I ask is that you deliver it professionally. So I have a specific question from Dave that's to Matt. Maybe you can put that question there. It sounds like Matt will be around, so I'm just going to hop into this. So the battle rewards. It's currently more profitable to rent out cards than play with them. How do you plan to change that?
That's kind of a funny question to me because, you're renting out cards to other players who are presumably playing with them. And I would imagine also that if they're paying to rent the cards, they would be able to earn more than they're spending on renting them. So I don't think that's really possible for that to be true, but it might be different for different people. And so that's just, in my opinion, like a free market thing, and the market will work that out. If cards are earn fewer rewards playing, then they'll be renting for less, and vice versa. And I think it's possible that, not possible, it is the case that certain players can get more value out of the same cards than other players. So it may be better for certain players to rent out their cards, and it may be better for other players to rent cards and earn more rewards from the games. But obviously, like we talked about earlier, we're working on a kind of major overhaul of the ranked reward system. So with specifically the focus of increasing the rewards for playing cards in battle.
Now, the second question is specific to this. Well, how will that impact the rewards for new players?
It's not, again, this is another something where it's always new players. It's all about new players. And while new players are very important, it also doesn't matter if a player is new or old. It's really about different levels of investment into the game, right? So we, as far as rewards are concerned, it always has to be the case that you need to acquire cards via rentals or buying them, and you'll also need additional things to help you, like potentially SPS and other things like that. So our goal is to make it so that there are a significant amount of rewards at all levels of play. So it doesn't matter if you're a new player or an old player, or whether you're in bronze or whether you're in champion, there should be decent levels of rewards at all those leagues, and that's exactly what we are focusing on significantly right now.
Awesome. How many chaos packs are estimated to be given out in daily chests every month?
So the numbers I have for what was put in, I guess it was just earlier today that went live. It's hard to know exactly. My estimates are about 25 to 30,000 will be given out a month. That includes daily and season chests. So in total, so it's compared to the total, it's a pretty small number of packs. It's possible that that will also be increased, especially as we do this rewards overhaul. So, but I wanted to just get it out there quickly, and kind of err on the lower side just to start. To make sure we weren't giving out too many. But still, in the past, it was always a 1% chance. So now I think starting like gold and up, it'll be more than a 1% chance of getting packs. So that should be a nice boost to the rewards at those levels.
Sweet. All right, marketing. Liam, these might be coming your way. What countries does the Brave ad campaign target? So first off, what is a Brave ad campaign, and who is it targeting?
Yeah, so Brave is a browser similar to kind of what you get out of Google Chrome or Firefox, anything else like that. It is a lot more kind of crypto agnostic with the people who use Brave. So we've kind of used that as our main kickoff point for advertisements. I think it's been going on for almost a month now, and we've been seeing some really good numbers coming in from Brave. In terms of countries that we're seeing Brave actually advertise on, it's really, we're hitting most of the continents right now. There's definitely some geofencing, whereas like if we look at Europe, we're not hitting every country within Europe. There's certain ones that we're looking at, but all of North America is being targeted. Russia's being targeted. Europe's being targeted. Asia's are being targeted. We're just kind of picking and choosing the countries that are showing better success than others. If you are asking that and you're not seeing Brave ads come in, it's likely because you've already kind of taken events to go to Splinterlands, you've interacted with the website. So the ads are not targeting you, just to avoid any excess of spend there.
How do I join the stream team? So again, what is the stream team? And then how would one go about joining the stream team? And I'd even like to ask, why are we doing the stream team? And the most important question is, what is the benefit to the players and the communities that we have the stream team at all?
We're
going to hold off on applications.
So Ron is speaking in my ear right now, but he said we're holding off on applications just for the meantime. We're looking to get some legal documents in place, but I will get him to send links in both the town hall chat, and I'll do maybe another official updates post about that today. Rondon is the main kind of leader for the stream team. But the reason that we're doing it right now is really to build up a presence on all of our kind of different social streaming channels. We're planning to mainly kick off on Twitch to start, and then helping people really develop their own brands. So kind of two-prong is, one, we want better brand visibility for Splinterlands, but two, we also want to be able to give back to the community, make sure that we're able to help people grow their own brands for those people who are really wanting to start getting a career in Twitch and everything else there. And kind of portions of that is we have a team helping create assets for all of our streamers and kind of everything else there. So we're looking to be a bit of a springboard for people, and then also have kind of live coverage of Splinterlands around the clock for the team.
And if all that works out, what does the community get? Why is that good for us?
Yeah, so I mean, for us, we're bringing net new players into the game. I think that's really our number one KPI that we're looking at for the stream team here is, how do we keep climbing that Twitch viewer board to get to the top of those, maybe the top 10 cards there of most played games. From that, we get a lot of organic traffic that comes in. People see the game, they think it's great. They're going to come over to splinterlands.com, sign up, and then obviously the rest is history there. So that's really what we're looking to get out of it. From the stream team perspective, it's a paid position. So we're actually paying all of our streamers to participate in this, all of the donations and all of the subscriptions. Once we get the partnership, everything going there, all those proceeds are going 100% to the streamers. So this isn't a campaign that we're looking to profit off. This isn't really anything that we're looking to turn a quick buck on. This is really just, how do we make sure we're enabling and empowering our community, but also building brand awareness and bringing new users to the website at the same time.
So I got a question here, and it happened in Discord the second that you showed it. Can Splinterlands assets and logos, including the stream team logo, be used on personal streams?
Yeah, so I'm going to point to Ron on that one. I'll get him to confirm. I don't want to speak out of place here. I know on the individual streams, while you're on the Splinterlands stream team time, yes. While you're out of stream, I'll get Ron to confirm that one.
Yeah, we'll work with, that's a good attorney question. So I think it's fair to punt. All right,
Hey,
so here,
Aggie,
Yep.
I'm going to have to drop in like 5 or 10 minutes. So I
Yep.
know there's a couple of questions about upcoming features that you may want me to talk to. So
yeah, I'm going to do that right now.
okay, perfect.
So how high of a priority is enhancing the Splinterlands mobile app? Maybe in light of what Francis just said, mobile first, what does that look like?
So we're building a team for mobile, and we're going to be working on it over the course of this year. It's not, I would say, the highest priority, but is a very big priority for us. I'm hoping to see something in Q3, Q4, and that's much more substantive than just minor fixes, but something really impressive is my hope.
Sweet. Can we see some artwork details of the 6 summoners? So Nate or Liam, are we anywhere on the creation of the 6 legendary summoners as part of the Chaos Legion set?
So that's we are still in the concept phase for the winners of that. So in fact, I started off with the number 1 spot and then made my way down the list, and I think we still are waiting to hear which element from some of the what is it, the 4th or 5th winner. Once I hear the element, each place I get what element are you going with, and then it makes the list shorter for the rest of the people, and then I go to the next person on the list. So as we work through that, everyone has either given me an idea what element, or not everyone. I still got to get to the end of the list. So if you're number 5 or 6 on that list and you're worried, well, Nate hasn't contacted me yet. I'm about to, and we're almost there. We're almost at the final part of figuring out which element everyone's going to have, and people have already gotten some forms to fill out to put some ideas for name and background and story, and as those requests come in, then the concept artists, and we're getting all that going, but there's nothing yet to show, but that process is underway, and everyone I've talked to who has some ideas about what they want to do with their characters, it's pretty exciting stuff. It's very inventive and creative, and I think everyone's going to like it.
Sweet. All right, next up, when will 2-factor authentication be available?
Yeah, so this is one that comes up a lot. So one thing I want to be clear on is that Splinterlands is not a digital asset custodian. So if you use an exchange like Coinbase or Binance or whatever, they hold your cryptocurrency for you. You don't have access to it. You just have to ask them. You say, I want, Coinbase to transfer Bitcoin to somewhere else, and then they use their private keys to make the transaction on your behalf. So they're a crypto asset custodian, and they need two-factor authentication because if someone else can log into your Coinbase account, they can send out your cryptocurrency somewhere else. Splinterlands does not work that way for a whole host of reasons. So that means the players have their keys. The players hold their keys, and Splinterlands does not broadcast any transactions on behalf of players, and Splinterlands does not use players' keys in any way. So, and when you log into Splinterlands, it just gets you access to the posting key, which doesn't have the ability to transfer assets or anything of value out of your account. So adding two-factor authentication really doesn't actually add any additional security at all, because if somebody gets your keys, they could transfer everything out, your active key or master password. They can transfer everything out of your account via the blockchain. So it's very different than how a custodian like an exchange works. So that's why that hasn't been done, and I'm not sure it makes sense to do, because it really, like, if someone is able to log into your account at this point, this wasn't always the case in the past, but at this point, if someone's able to log into your account with your email and password, they should only be able to do things like play battles and things like that.
Sweet. All right, so Richard, I want to answer this question with you. Why are you starting to work on an arcade when there are so many pending features behind schedule? So one of the things that I've been focusing as hard as I can on is getting a process by which we can go walk our products through. And so we have a product pipeline, and that product pipeline is across so many different stages. It's ideation, it's design, it is product management, so budgets and timelines. Then we get into creative design, like creative asset creation. We get into development, and then we get into DevOps. So there's not like one product that consumes all of those resources at all times. There are products that start at the top of the funnel and then kind of move through this assembly line. So when you have products that are on the brand new end, there are things that are coming in for design, whereas other things have already been designed and gone out. One thing that's appealing to me about this little arcade project is that the full design around how the assembly line works is sort of new. It's not entirely new. We've done things like this before, but in order to walk something down, I really wanted something that was super small. That's not some gigantic multi-month land expansion, to be able to go test out the assembly line and be like, okay, if we build, I keep thinking of it as like Centipede or Space Invaders. If we build Centipede or Space Invaders and put it through this assembly line, like, can we build it? What does it look like? Is the assembly line efficient and functional? Let's find that out on a super tiny, extremely scoped project, rather than like try to run the biggest land expansion package we can through it. So that's my answer. Richard, do you want to kind of chime in on why are we working on an arcade when there's so many pending features behind schedule?
Actually, I was going to steal one of the things that you said too, which is we want to, the platform is an incredible platform that has so much tech underneath it, right? And so we have this massive engine sitting there that, why not look at little ways to add more entertainment for your existing NFTs? And I'm actually kind of stealing the next question. Someone's like, will the arcade use your existing NFTs? We don't know yet, but we would like to. And as you guys saw when I posted in the community and I said, hey, we want your ideas about arcade. Actually, I'm sorry, that was Clayboyne who posted, which he's actually helping me with this project on part-time basis. So Clayboyne is actually helping me with this project, and we're trying to gather ideas right now. We're trying to figure out what it is. But what I've told him and what I've told Aggie and Matt is that what I want to do on the side without stealing any major effort from the existing team is, can I get a Splinterlands arcade online on the platform? And, ideally what I would like to see is 6 to 10 these type of games where hopefully another bit of entertainment for your Splinterlands assets. the more entertainment you can get out of your Splinterlands assets provides more value for your NFTs. Now, we don't want to take away time from all of our major efforts, like Modern and Wild, like Land, like the SPS validators. So I am completely doing this as a Skunkworks rogue project, and Matt will shoot me if I use any resources that are too significant. So my budget is like less than 1%. So I'm off trying to do this on the side just to see what comes of it. Part of it is an experiment on us testing relationships with other firms. Part of it is an experiment in the pipeline process. Part of it is to just see what sticks. So this is what I would call a conceptualization, as Aggie said, that we're trying something out and see what happens. But everybody else out there, as soon as I posted it, as soon as Clay posted it, everybody's like, oh no, everybody's getting distracted inside the team. And I'm like, no. We are purposely not distracting the existing Splinterlands team. This is something we're doing on the side.
So we know that this is something that's going to keep coming up, anytime that we want to do any other projects or any other work. And there is other projects and other work and other products that we want to get out. And this is part of what we're doing to sort of test this as an experiment to see, when we feed things through this pipeline, here's this really small piece of it. How many plates can we spin at the same time? How many bowling pins can we juggle? And, you have the entire pipeline. How many can we fit in design? How many can we fit in project management? How many can we put into creative? How many can we put into dev? What size of things can we do? What are we capable of? What are we not? And this to me is like a perfect test run to kind of shove this teeny little project through this pipeline and see where it goes.
That this is where the platform team that Francis was talking about comes into play also. So, right now, if we want to add new things, as part of Splinterlands or like alongside Splinterlands or whatever, you kind of have to deal with the code that is specifically built for Splinterlands. And so that pulls Splinterlands resources in to work with whoever is working on this other project to make it all work together. But if we have this kind of platform that just has everything ready to go, it handles logins and account management and wallet management and blockchain integration and mobile design and all this stuff, then these new projects can come in and utilize the platform, this well-documented, well-built platform on their own, and it doesn't distract from the team that's working on Splinterlands. So that's our ultimate goal, is like, instead of having this big list of projects and we have to order them because we can only work on a certain amount at a time, we can say, hey, we want to work on these other projects at the same time, and then we can just go out and hopefully bring in more talented people to just work on them and get more stuff done in parallel. And that's already starting to happen. I think if anyone's been paying attention, the frequency of releases, the amount of stuff that's being released, and the fact that I'm pretty much not involved in most of those releases. So I'm working on the other things like the validator nodes and the rewards changes simultaneously, as just one example, is how this is starting to happen. And, as a business, we're trying to do more and more of that. And I think the arcade is just one kind of first tested it to kind of see how it goes and see how we can improve that going forward.
Awesome. This is a bit weird. How much earning potential do you expect the most common plot of land might have?
7.
Perfect. I agree. It's so early in this that,
it's 42, Matt. It's 42. The answer is always 42. We know this.
It's impossible to know, but hopefully.
Hey guys, I got
1/6 of the meaning of life.
Oh gosh, there it is. We need a quote. Can I have a T-shirt with Matt saying that? You earn one. That's an amazing T-shirt quote. Anyway, guys,
I got one question for you first. Hold on.
Okay.
Is there an updated time frame for Rift Watchers?
We're shooting for like June, July is the current hypothetical release date. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, I got something fun for you.
Nice.
Would you guys like to see a new roadmap?
Yes. Does
Me
that
too.
exist?
No.
Okay.
Actually, it does. Actually, it does exist in my head. But here's the thing, guys. I do want to tease this. And this is something that we've talked about the last couple of weeks, but not everybody. We talk about it internally so much, but we haven't shared a lot with the community. I actually was playing COO for about 6 weeks. Where
that's not a game. He means Chief Operating Officer.
Yes, that's not a video game. I mean, if it is a video game, it involves stacks and stacks and stacks of employment contracts.
Worst game ever.
Ever. So one of the things that I personally, as a CTO, am very sad that I do not have for you guys is a fancy roadmap. And one of the things that I've been working really hard with the internal staff to try to develop is a way to produce a updated roadmap, because we have nothing officially really out there. And I want to do some really cool things with it. And I want to get in front of you. And I want to tell you that I know you guys want it. I know the team wants it. And it is on my radar. I'm probably going to get something out in late February is my guess based on what's happening right now. The team is actually, leadership team is actually getting together next week. And we're having a big get together, meeting everybody for the first time, a lot of us for the first time, and we're going to be diving deep into strategy, timeframes, like people, hiring, organization, all that stuff you do. And part of what's going to come out of there is maybe some more definitions to drive what that roadmap will look like. But I can tell you one thing that's really exciting about this roadmap. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to get you guys excited with what we're doing. So it's coming. Just want to let you know that.
And I just want to warn, the two people next to you on my screen are Chatter and Nate. I just want to warn both of you, and if there's an imaginary Kevin next to him, I'm going to be looking for a marketing roadmap, a development roadmap, a creative roadmap, and a product roadmap. So all of these kind of departments need to have a roadmap that helps feed into what Richard is doing, but like each department really needs to have a roadmap that we can not only use internally, but we should be communicating whatever we can, whatever like is signed agreement, just making sure everybody gets the signed. There we go. There's some acknowledgement. The signed agreements go out. That's what we're looking for. So we want to be able to communicate more internally and externally, and that's part of this. It's not entirely like this, but I kind of hope that all of Splinterlands becomes a fishbowl, and anybody on the outside, maybe not some of the proprietary stuff or some of the like not released stuff, but I'm hoping that any community member can walk in, look at our numbers, look at our people, look at our projects, and have a sense of where we're at and be open and transparent about that. Okay, SPS and DEC. Oh, so Richard, thanks for being here. Have a good day. Enjoy your Friday, and thanks for being here.
Oh yeah, and if you guys want to see us a little bit later on, me and Chatter are going to be hanging out doing our Learn to Play session. So if you guys want to get more Splinterlands streaming in, you want to come have a virtual beer with us and play the game, come join us. Antics ensue. See you guys.
Matt, can I say something beyond 7 for the earnings potential?
Oh my goodness. Okay, fine.
Well, because we kind of got off on a tangent about the 7, but the way I think about it is this: where the land is going to be the sole producer of these new types of cards in the game, so items and spell cards. So if you just imagine, if let's say the items and spell cards were being sold in packs, how much value that would be, selling. We just released like a pack edition that these items and spell cards, and everyone's going to need them for battles. How much might be put into buying those cards. That's all the value that is going to go to land. And there's 150,000 land plots. So, generally you can divide up that value across 150,000 land plots to get some idea of what earning potential might look like. So that's just a way to think about it.
That's
by the way, I'm still acquiring. I'm getting all the land. It's happening this year. So
nice.
Yeah, not financial advice, but on that, Mark, thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Richard. All right, SPS and DEC. So I don't know how deep you want to go into this one, Matt, but how are you planning to change DEC in the future since PAX will no longer be providing a sync? Do you want to?
Yeah. So this is what I'm going to say. So now that I am not focusing on, keeping servers running and all the little day-to-day stuff of development anymore, my focus has been changed to like big picture. How do we structure this economy in the best way possible. And I also spend a lot of time researching and learning about all of the really amazing innovations that are going on in the blockchain and DeFi space. And with all of them, all the good ones at least, I'm thinking about how do we apply that to Splinterlands, and because that's all part of what we're doing here is like using all this innovation in a gamified way. And so with that in mind, I think we have some really exciting and awesome plans for DEC and SPS, and how they all work together. That borrows a lot of really amazing ideas thought of by much smarter people than me from other platforms. But it'll be the first time that these ideas are put in use in a gaming environment, which I think can actually make them stronger because there's real value. Like there's an actual real product behind it. It's not just yield farm. It's actually driving the value in this game. And so I would actually have to say that the plans for the tokens in Splinterlands might be one of the things I'm actually most excited about going forward, because I think it's going to be not only just big for the game, but also big news in the general crypto world, that we'll be the first ones to kind of do this in a gaming platform.
Awesome. So this is a question for me. Can you explain liquidity pool incentive update on tribal decks? So in the game, you're able to go transfer your assets out of Splinterlands and into one of two platforms that are built off of Hive, called Hive Engine and also Tribal Decks. Hive Engine and Tribal Decks use the same database. It's the Hive Engine backend, but those two sites rely on the same place, the same data. Tribal Decks is a more sophisticated interface that goes to it, and on there are liquidity pools. So really all that you can do on Hive Engine is just buy and sell through like market buys, but Tribal Decks is now getting into liquidity pools. A liquidity pool is where you have money on both sides of a trade. You might have like a pool of money for Hive and a pool of money for Bitcoin, and whenever you want to trade, there's a pool of money for both of those. Tribal Decks has been functioning where every single one of those trades has been free. And recently we made it so that when you trade, and in this case, it's literally every pool, the people that are providing that liquidity get a small fee. So there is a chance that when you are trading, that the amount of money that you get is slightly reduced because there's a fee. But the real hope here is that there's so much new liquidity that's brought onto the exchange because now they're earning a return that when you go to trade, there's so much money there that when you're trading between assets, there's not a price impact, meaning that you don't lose money because the pool is small. And the benefit here is that the players that choose to stake money will earn some passive income, and the players that are trading, because the pools are getting bigger, yes, there's a small fee, but hopefully they're actually paying less because the pool is so much bigger that the price impact is impacting their trade less. So if this system works right, the people that are staking liquidity earn more money, and the people that are trading between the assets are losing less when on the trade because there's bigger pools. And I know that might be a little bit tricky, but that's the best I can do there's so many complicated pieces in that, and I tried to explain them all within a minute.
Can I add that like liquidity is king? For any project to grow, liquidity is one of the most important things. And when you look at, you want to get, real whales, you want to get lots of money into the ecosystem. They're not going to put money into a token that that will cause a major price move, or that they don't feel like they can get out of without crashing the price. So liquidity is just super important for any project, crypto or otherwise.
Yeah, and the whole hope here is that this increases liquidity. It helps whales get paid that are providing liquidity, but it also helps minnows in that the price impact goes down. And even though there's a new fee, there's savings on the exchange because the pools are so much bigger that the price impact is actually below the 0.25% fee now. That's the hope. I mean, lots of trades that I do are like 1% in price impact. Well, if I can get that down like by half because the pools are so much bigger, then I'm happy to pay a 2.5 or 0.25% fee because it's actually still less money than it was before. And that's what I'm going for here. I'm hoping that everybody makes more money or spends less, and that it seems impossible, but that's part of what these kinds of DeFi can do. All right, when will SBS get listed on a major exchange? You want me to take that, Matt? You want to go, or Liam? Actually, Liam, you're kind of heading up our exchange relationships. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, so a couple of them we're getting fairly close to. I think we've got some offer sheets back from a few people, but it's still kind of in the negotiation phase here. Don't want to spoil anything and overstep again for 2 times in one call here, but we'll leave it at that. There's a couple of big exchanges that we are in talks with right now currently, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, some of them are just ridiculously priced. I don't want to break like confidentiality or NDAs, but some of it I just look at it and be like, that is a stupid price to pay. So I don't know. I think we're still haggling on some of this, but we'll see. All right. Will you need SPS stake to earn SPS from battles when the feature arrives? Matt?
The plan is that you will not. So, the whole idea is if you're doing well in battles, you'll be able to earn SPS, and that's your way of getting SPS. You won't necessarily need to have it to begin with. But that being said, and you can read more about it in the SPS white paper about what's planned to be released. But obviously, if you do have SPS staked, there'll be additional other benefits to earn. But the whole idea is that you don't need it in order to earn it.
Sweet. Will you need SPS? No. Will Splinterlands merchandise be purchasable using DEC and SPS? Liam, did you make like a big swag purchase yet? I know that we've been talking about that some.
Yeah, so Beth did one for the internal team right now, but we're looking to get one just for the greater community. So give us probably another week or so, but we'll have orders out pretty soon.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm hoping to get beanies and sweatshirts and all this other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Chaos packs. When chaos packs sell out, will we be able to pull the equivalent DEC and loot chests if we would have pulled the chaos pack?
Possibly, but like I said, we're kind of working on a pretty significant overhaul of how that system works. So, we'll just wait to see how that all shakes out first.
Okay. Why did the rate for airdrop chaos cards decrease so much? Is this expected to continue to drop at a drastic rate moving forward, or is this just a new baseline that will slowly drop?
Yeah, so we explained it in the post. We did our best to estimate properly based on the number of packs opened and the number of packs purchased for the previous airdrops. And typically every new legendary card will add 25 more to the number of packs that you would need to buy to get a guaranteed card. So if there were 3 at the 350 range, but that really should have been, 350, 375, and 400. But we just put them all at the same rate because we were airdropping them all at the same time, and we wanted to just kind of do something special and get people more cards. But even starting at 350, once we looked at the amount that have been given out, and we also put a link to Neil McSpadden's post that kind of explains the actual numbers behind this. It showed that there were a good bit more of the airdrop cards than the rest of the legendaries in the set. And the whole idea is that there's roughly an equal amount. So the airdrop is like as if those packs contained the cards in them to that date. So that's why it jumped from what would have been, 425 to 500. My expectation is that going forward, it will continue to increase at the expected 25 per card. But ultimately, we need to make sure, we're looking long term and making sure there's, as correct the number of cards in circulation as possible. Sweet.
Brawls and tournaments. When will brawl phrase change from untamed only to chaos only?
I think that is being worked on right now.
Why is staked SPS requirements for tournaments so high? Are there plans to have more accessible tournaments? Yes, that's what the 2-week grace period is for tournaments as the team there, mostly led by WeirdBeard, kind of comes back and goes under the hood a bit. All right, suggestions and requests. Nobody hit Champion 1 last season. Are there any plans to make adjustments or dynamically change league thresholds?
Sorry, forgot the mute button. Yeah, no, I think, well, for one thing, I think one of the issues we identified when we were looking at the whole ranked play economy is right now, once you get into a high league, there's sort of a disincentive to keep playing, because if you drop back down, before the end of the season, then you'll get fewer rewards. So for a lot of players, especially in Champion, when there's like a ton of season rewards available, you just kind of get to a high league and then you sort of stop there, or there's incentive to stop. And that's one of the things we're specifically targeting to fix with some of these changes. But that being said, the competition, I think, is pretty strong in Champion also. So after those changes go out, I think we're going to also look at, does it make sense to still have it be 500 points per tier, rating points per tier, or go to 300 like in the other leagues, and just see, what needs to be done to encourage players to get up into Champion 1.
Can we have an auto debit setting for gold guild donations?
Possibly. Yeah, I don't see why not.
That sounds like a feedback.splinterlands.com thing. Can we get a lock feature for assets other than cards?
Yes, that is something that, is on the list of things to do. I don't know the priority, but I think now that we have more developers kind of spun up to be able to work on things, that's something that they could work on adding.
Are there plans to give combined cards more value versus single BCX cards, so our total card value isn't hurt when combining cards?
Well, the real value for combined cards right now comes from battling, because that's where combined cards, are better than single BCX cards. So again, our hope is that when we revamp the rewards and we can increase the rewards, then that's where the additional value will come to combine cards. But then also, like, looking further into the future, obviously with land, we've talked about many times that the cards will need to work on the land and will determine the production of the land plots. And there'll only be a certain amount of cards that'll be able to work on land. So that's a good example of where you'll want to have combined cards, so you can basically get a lot more BCX worth of cards working on your land and creating output, versus if you just have like 4 or 5 1 BCX cards.
Could we get a wage, and I think he means this like a wager, could we get a wage mode added where players can risk a DEC in challenges?
I don't know. That's something we've kind of stayed away from to just avoid any type of looking like gambling. So it's something maybe we could just look at with lawyers or something. But I would say it's also possible for like third-party sites to implement that if they want, and that's kind of what's cool about these blockchain-based games is it's possible for third-party developers to implement all sorts of neat things on top of it.
Can you add an option to use Gladius cards in friendly challenges? That's a lot for practice in guild brawls.
Yeah, I mean, we could. Again, that's probably a good feedback thing.
Yeah, feedback.splinterlands.com. Have you thought about having exclusive limited edition promo cards available only to SBS holders? Why, yes, we have. Liam, are we able to talk about the thing yet? What do you think?
I would give it probably one more week.
All right. I'm going to say, yes, we have thought about it.
It's going to, all these things are going to be for vouchers also. So we talked about this, when vouchers were released and earlier on, but it's only been a couple, not even 2 weeks since the general sale started, but it's not like vouchers are done now and that's it. We plan to have an entire voucher store in the shop with just all sorts of different stuff added in there that will require vouchers in some way. And that's how we make things available to SPS holders. And I think using vouchers, the reason we did vouchers versus just saying, oh, you just need to have X amount of SPS staked, is because That way, if people want to get value out of SPS, but they're not interested in whatever promotions and new things we're adding into the game, they can get value by selling the vouchers to other people who don't have SPS staked or don't have enough SPS staked. So it's really like it just gives the most flexibility possible to staking SPS as far as how you redeem that for value. So yes, that's I'll just mention that there's a voucher store planned specifically for all the different things that we have planned to use vouchers, and it sounds like there's one of those things to be announced shortly.
There's only one modern gold level card with stun, yet 5 with knockout plus a knockout rule set. Are there plans to add more stun to the modern format at gold level and below?
That's a good point. This is something that people like Byzantinist helped me out with when we design new card stats. So that's something we can look into for, I guess the next major one will be Rift Watchers. There may be some new reward cards added before then. So we'll look at that.
Are there plans to add more game modes? The game gets stale, particularly at low levels where there are fewer cards abilities available. Okay, this is my entire purpose right now is to go get our product assembly line functioning so that not only will there be more game modes, my hope is that there will be tens, maybe even hundreds of game modes that players with these assets can play with a range of difficulties where somebody walks in and they're like, I've never heard of Splinterlands, but I guess I can play this little arcade thing, to the most in-depth empire building land management system ever created. That's a big spectrum that's in there. And I hope that there's many different game modes within that, many different ways to use your cards. But how we can go take cool ideas, integrate them, get new play. That's my entire purpose. That's what I'm working on with Richard right now to try to figure out what's our assembly line. How do we take a new product like this little itty bitty arcade thing, move it through the process to actually get it developed and into the site. And if that all works, then not only is that answer yes, but you'll see yes with way more modes and options and things, and ideally partnerships with other groups coming in where we can just make more stuff and more types of stuff, and potentially even some things that are not directly Splinterlands related, although I'm sure that there'll be benefits for Splinterlands players. Yeah, I think so. Bulldog is asking what I think will be the last question. Are we skipping open questions since other areas went long? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. If you guys have questions, I think we're going to go push those to next week. I'll give the team here a chance to sort of sign off.
Are we doing next week?
Oh, not next week. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we're not going to be here next week because we're all in Florida trying to get this assembly line up and running. So the week after we'll be back. And I guess if you guys, Matt, Chatter, and Nate, if you guys have some things you want to sign off with, let's get a final sign off from the crew.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I can't answer what the stats are on the Carnage Titan yet. Sorry, random. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope you guys get the idea and see it in action, that just the stuff we've been talking about and working on for the past, 3 to 6 months now is starting to come into play. We're starting to move faster. Things are starting to fall into place. More things are happening in parallel. More announcements are coming faster. And I kind of hope and expect that this just to start snowballing as more little things hit and add more value one after another. That value just kind of snowballs together, and we see some really fantastic results through the end of the year and beyond.
Nate?
Well, I mean, I'm excited about everything, and it's funny because every town hall, or at least most town halls, we tell people, hey, you guys are going to want vouchers. You're not going to have enough vouchers. And we keep saying it. And I feel like the sentiment out there is yeah. We don't believe you. Well, I mean, we warned you. We told you guys over and over again, stock up on your vouchers, stake your SPS. So you can't blame us. It's go right now. Go get some. I would say that
Financial advice.
yeah, not financial advice. But yeah, it's exciting times, man. And then Matt touched upon the voucher store, and I'm not going to get any details, but I was talking the other day with a game designer guy that we hired a while back, Alfred, and I had a meeting with him, and he had this structured proposal and all this stuff we were looking at, because I tasked him with, like, hey, look, people keep coming to me with they want skins, they want this, they want that, and there's little complexities with trying to make a voucher store with some of this stuff. We want some low-hanging fruit. We want some stuff we could do easy, quick and easy. And he came up with these ideas that were like, crap, why didn't I think of that? Yes. So internally speaking, there's a lot that has to be discussed and figured out, but some of these ideas we could probably run with sooner rather than later. So in addition to the promo stuff that we're already having the works and the things that we want to do and that we're not going to talk about right now, there's all kinds of other stuff that I'm pretty excited for too. So I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna happen hopefully sooner rather than later.
Chatter?
Yeah, just secondary to Nate's point, just the vouchers are going to be super hype in the future, and hopefully next stream here we'll have a lot more eye candy for you. But there's some big things in the works right now, so just be prepared for next town hall. That's all I'm going to say.
Awesome, guys. Well, I'm gonna bring it down to that. I wanted to say, hey, it's fantastic. Thanks for being part of our community. To the guys that are helping build this game and building that community, thank you so much. It's an honor to serve with you. It's a pleasure to serve with you. This company will never be able to go make every single person happy. And our job is to literally try to lift up in as many ways and as many times ourselves, our employees, and our community, so that the circle we draw around this thing is all of us are part of this ship. We all go to the same moon, and we're all going to work together to spread the game, to grow the game, to get more assets, to get more game modes, and to continue to have positive, strong, professional relationships with each other. So I invite you to come join us in that spirit. Invite your friends in that spirit. Share us on social media with that spirit, and help us grow. We all go to the same moon. And the more people that we bring in, and the more players that are here, and the more excitement that we generate with the products that we're making, just the better that this entire ecosystem will be. So thank you for being here with us. Thank you for making this possible. And it's a pleasure to serve. Thanks, guys.